if anybody knows the creature Madlib and Fortet, these are two wonderful producers out there. Madlib on the right and Fortet on the left there. So Madlib dropped an album called Sound Ancestors, and actually it was Fortet. I really want to talk about the creative process. Um, it took years to do this apparently, and what he would do is he just sent him hundreds of files, and he found all the best parts of it that he found were the best parts of it, and created this like major mix, which is going to be his first studio album, like what is considered his first studio album. Uh-oh, I think oh, there you go, no worries. So I want to just talk about the creative process, because sometimes we don't just have a moment of relaxation where we just think about how we work as people.
Mm.
I like Madlib is for me, Madlib is one of the best producers of all time. And I don't know, that doesn't I don't know if that fits into your aesthetic, because this is like a jazz hop person, you know? So, but it takes years sometimes to create these like ethereal sounds. And like, how do you think about like the process of like Kendrick and TDE, who, they take 4 years sometimes to put out anything? Is that better or worse than somebody who's just pumping out record after record, you
I think
know?
it
And
depends on the
sometimes that stuff
person.
is just fire.
Like
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
like
And
Tory
I
Lanez, for instance, Tory Lanez spits out like a million tracks a year, and they seem to all get pretty good popularity. I mean, he screwed up with that Megan the Stallion incident where they're still going through the issues of her getting shot in the foot. But this is something totally
why you
different.
got
Like
a gun? Why you got a gun?
I mean, like at the end of the day, right? It's like that's why it's like it's better to have like people that'll protect you. But it is everybody's different. Anyways, everybody's experiences are different. Like like if you're into Madlib's music, right? You know what I mean? Like you understand that there's a huge difference, and there's a different type of respect. The same thing with MF Doom and all these different people that have been through things in hip hop that are respected. They've I don't know if I'm being clear enough with that, but you understand what I mean? Like it's
No,
like
no,
the
I feel you, and I'm gonna say rest in peace, Doom and
yeah.
Double K, because Double K passed away last night.
Oh wow.
Um,
Oh.
I don't know. Do you know who Double K is?
No, not at all. But that's a shame to hear.
Yeah.
You know who it is?
Yeah.
No.
Uh, no, you would love the music. You would love the music. A group called People Under the Stairs, and it's like a West
Oh
Coast,
yeah.
like everything that was happening with Def Jux, in the East Coast. Basically, the West Coast had People Under the Stairs, and they were all doing just backpack, just sample after
I
sample.
think I
So
know what you're talking about. I think I've heard of part of
yeah,
it before. Like I listen to like it's crazy because I have like a lot of independents that I listen to and a lot of major labels that I listen to, and I guess it's different. Like like it depends on. I like more of that like hard club slash like I don't know, cursing, talking about like gangster stuff. You
no,
know what I mean?
I mean that's what I mean.
Like
That's
I
why
also
I
like
like want to
reggae
talk
too.
about the creative process.
Like I'm half West Indian, so I like reggae and soca and I even like reggaeton a little bit. Like here and there. But some people, it's just like I don't know.
I think it's just easier for some people to churn out stuff faster. I mean, you get the industry, they want people to like they want
Some people
I need
want
the newest thing,
volume,
I
some
need it
people want
now,
quality, right?
and they get a lot of pressure from the industry to like produce, 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 produce. There are some people that you have to let them sit on something and work through it, and they'll produce fire, but they don't get the time that they need. I think that happens with a lot of artists. They don't get the time they need to really develop something, even something that might come out and it's really good and you're like, wow, this was really good. They might be sitting back there saying, well, it could have been better, but they've been pushing me to bring something out, and I think like especially with the industry, they just rush artists too much and they don't give a lot of artists the time that they would need to really work on stuff, and then just sometimes some people like it comes easier to some people to just put out as much as they can, and then some people need that like that push, they'll have people that's how they got they got found because they had people behind them like just put stuff out, put stuff out, put stuff out. If it doesn't matter if it sounds good or not, put it out, and it gets you attracted to them, and then you end up listening to the stuff they actually put their whole hearts into. I'm just thinking of like not when it comes to music, but when it comes to media. The producers for Rick and Morty, they were allowed to have that time. They had like years between seasons so that they could develop the show the way that they wanted to. They were given that creative opportunity to kind of like expand and look at the show, and it has such a huge following that people are willing, like their fans are willing to wait years between seasons for a show if it's going to be great. And I think a lot of fans in general would love, if their artist is allowed to create the way that they should, real fans will wait. They'll wait for as long as it takes for something to come out that's really good. But, when it comes to the industry, you have the industry behind things too that are just like pushing these artists to churn out as much as they can as all the time, and they have a lot of pressure when it comes to that. So you have that affects that creative process for all these artists, because I'm sure a lot of them have like different albums like, oh yeah, I really like that album, but if I had more time to work on it, it probably would have been even better.
People thinking of their advances, man.
I mean,
they give them these nice big advances, and then they're like realizing that, I gotta make some money or I'm gonna be screwed at the end of this.
and then some of them don't take advances. Like, this is why I went on Madlib, because he's one of these people who he threw out his cell phone like 3 years ago. He missed To Pimp a Butterfly. He missed having a track on To Pimp a Butterfly because only his wife has it's the only number that you can get to. Yeah. So like, is that, and he has over I think it was 35 records. So he's like one of these people who just doesn't care about the money. And that's one of the things that like I'm like realizing that there are just different artists out here, and there's like two zones. There's the industry zone, and there's the just I'm gonna be a monster in my own head. And like I think even Kendrick is kind of like one of those people, like where he's just like, nah, I'm gonna make the best tracks that I possibly can, and that's all that you're gonna see that's gonna ever come out. And that's all you're ever going to see. You're never gonna have me on a weak track. If I do a feature, it better be a damn good track, because that's all I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the way you gotta do it. Like, everybody's got their own approach, man. Everybody thinks they got the secret sauce. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to a lot, And then artist integrity. Some of them are willing to put out whatever comes out, because they feel like, oh, well, it's fine. Whatever comes out. It doesn't matter, It's at least I'm making music. And then there's some people that they'll be gone for years. And then they come back and they come out with something and you're like, damn, that's what you've been working on this whole time.
Anybody that you're thinking of that you're waiting for to come out?
Oh, well, I like J. Cole and stuff like that, and a lot of his stuff, he was gone for a while and he came back and he started, he came back more for all these like new artists that were coming after him. I think that was a big thing, that a lot of these new artists were trying to start rap beefs with all these other rappers and people that had already been out, and they came out and they were just starting beef with people just so that they could get attention. And it was only when they realized, when these other artists started coming back and they were like, oh, you starting beef with? No, these are fans. They're just fans starting shit just so that they can make a name for themselves. I think of who's that? Machine Gun Kelly trying to go after Eminem, and
what's his face?
Yeah, and then he just had to flip records.
What's his face? What's his face in it too? Little Pump.
Little Pump.
Yeah, Lil Pump said something about Eminem too. You know what I mean?
They do it just they're fans. They're all fans, and they just do it to get attention. Yeah, exactly. And they just do it to get attention and stuff like that. And I know J. Cole was talking about somebody that was coming after him, and he said he ran up on them at the club and was like, "Oh, you're trying to talk all this shit," and they just started like fanboying on them so hard, like, "Oh my God, J. Cole, I can't believe you're here," And he's like, "What the hell am I doing here? These people aren't trying to come after me." He's like, "They're nobodies. They're just trying to make a name for themselves." And that's the way they're doing it in the industry now,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I was going to say, I rep that Dreamville JID, Earth Gang. You should hit up those records if you haven't already.
I like
Um,
JID. JID
but
is dope. Good.
yeah, JID is dope. Like those Leonardo DiCaprio records just blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, we got some Vince Staples level stuff right here. And I was gonna say Pusha T is the only person that if Pusha T comes up on you for some reason on J. Cole, then you walk away. That's when you walk away.
You want me to cut back over to any
No, nobody's messing with Pusha.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to cut over to, like articles or anything?
I mean, I wish we could play the music, but we're all good.
Well, that's the thing though. Like I'm eventually gonna start doing some stuff with how's it called? Oh, why can't I remember it? Mixcloud. Mixcloud might give us the options to be able to do some of the stuff. You know what I mean? So if we can.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like if we were just streaming to Twitch, like if we want to, if at some, I mean, it makes no sense right now because we still have a couple more topics to just scan through real quick. But like, you can play stuff on Twitch and it'll get blocked out. The sound will get blocked out if they need to, and that's it.
But that's
but
kind
YouTube
of
will devastate you.
Yeah, the
YouTube will like destroy your account.
They'll just basically take it off for protection purposes, but they can't come later and charge you anything for doing it because it airs at least once. You know what I mean? Like the first time you play it. No.
No, I mean that's the one good thing about Twitch. I love the Twitch community too because of that. I mean, the thing is that you can't like if you play it too loud, it'll like end for too long, and you're not doing a commentary on it. You will get a violation of some sort. But it's only that's recent, and they're still trying to figure it out. Like that's why I mean I kind of miss the last like this whole year has been weird for the whole situation because now everybody was like, oh, we got to make our money, so I have to do a copyright on all of these, like and that's what the year has been like learning copyrights everywhere. Like that's why I put beats on my own beats on everything, you know.
How does like I don't understand, you remember how they used to sample everything? How does that, like, you don't hear any sampling anymore? I guess copyrights has gotten through for freaking sampling as well.
Yes, I just on YouTube. So I did a hip hop like kind of like beat show, and I did it on YouTube and Twitch. YouTube immediately found a sample that I used, and it literally violated. So you know, it basically just cancels it in like 4 or 5 countries. It's not a lot of countries, but it's like you have to do a sharing thing now too. And I'm like, okay, but that was like literally a half a second sample. I don't know how you found it that quickly, but their algorithm is so precise that they will find any music that is on like a BMG.
There's money. There's money involved.
Do you know how many Jersey club DJs are going to be out of a job? All they did was sample.
They make the system once, and then they made the system once so that it can regulate the YouTube or whatever it is, and now it's just going to help them make profits. That's all. They look at it as a business expense. Whatever money they invested in the algorithm to search all this stuff is an investment for their protection. They won't get as many lawsuits. They won't get as many issues with copyright. Like that's all they care about. They just want to make sure that money flow doesn't stop. You know, and that's what's crazy about it. This is why, like, when we do our own thing, we're going to focus on directing people to the site and us, doing what we got to do with the things. Because I want to deal with independent artists and other things that when we start doing the other show. And I don't want YouTube flagging me on things that I'm doing for the people that are actually on YouTube as well. Like, they'll hear their music. I had issues where I was, doing showcases and, like, music that they had on YouTube got flagged because they were doing live performances on my show. You know what I mean? So, like, for that, yeah, you know what I mean?
I was gonna say, because I mean, like on Twitch, there's a ton of DJs that do that, like are DJing all the time. Like they come in every couple of days and make sure they do a set, and they're using full on samples and full on everything. So what they have to do is that they have to take off their VODs, so you can't go on demand back again. So that just means that nobody can watch it afterwards, and you're just doing a show for people. But it's like, you know, it's like that's nice. I love that. I think that that's gonna be the future for a lot of people. Is gonna be doing performances, but the things that it's hard to save. It's hard to put up again, you know.